Hi guys, and welcome back to the Ride Bike Waxing and UK One Wheel channel. So ripping some trails up here this morning. Already been out and done a few laps of the forest. Having some problems with my board ghosting, which is a real pain, but I'll explain more in a bit. Sketchy rock gap, rock gap. Okay guys, so yeah, we're up in the forest ripping, having some real severe issues with my one wheel and it ghosting. We're just finding new lines, as you can see here. Here comes Tom ripping down through. First try! Yeah, so back to my one wheel. Tom's gonna climb back up and no doubt do that again, so off he goes. I've got this big, I don't know what it is. Obviously I had this grip tape fitted and I've got this lump, I can only but assume. I don't know if you can see that. I've got a lump in my grip tape and I'm wondering if that's what's causing the issue. Because this thing just sets off. We're in a very deep valley and we've got a very steep run that comes off of here. And I tried jumping off a step and this thing just took off on its own. To the point it was flat out, full chat, straight into these trees down the bottom here. So yeah, I do need to get this grip tape removed. I have ordered some grip tape from, oh, here comes Tom. First try. Come on mate, back up again. He's gonna carry on doing that. This is a bloopers session. So yeah, I've got some new grip tape coming from Craft and Ride in America, so I'm going to be going back to the workshop just in a second, so do stay tuned, and we're going to obviously take this grip tape off. First time I've ever done it. We're going to replace the back one, because I've just ripped up a massive chunk off the back of that from it hitting a tree, and obviously we're going to get rid of whatever's under here, which is I think causing my ghosting issue. And I managed to pull out one of my flight fins, as you can see there, one of the washers in my flight fin. So yeah, they are definitely getting a good work out, these boards. How's Tom getting on? He's just got back to the top, so let's have a quick wander up and see how he's doing. So that's what we're going to be doing back in the workshop. You should see how he's doing. Come on then, buddy. This is the line. It's quite steep, to be fair, and challenging. There's quite a few roots. Yes, determination is always key. So yeah, stay tuned and we're going to hit ourselves back into the workshop and get this grip tape fixed. So, see you in a bit. Hi guys, okay, right, back in the workshop. So this one wheel has been ghosting really badly, to the point it has taken myself and Tom out quite a few times on the trail. And it's getting to the point it's getting quite dangerous, and I don't know really why. It has been ghosting for a long time, but it may be when I'm taking my foot off as a quick stop, possibly, so not as in lifting the heel to stop the board. But I'm going to show you in a little bit more detail. It is pretty battered. I've actually ordered new grip tape from Craft and Ride, which I'm just waiting to turn up. But I thought what I'll do tonight is I'm going to put you on time lapse. I'm going to strip obviously the fender off, the flight fins off, which I do need to repair because it's actually lifting here, which I'll show you in a second. And strip this grip tape off. This has been replaced before by somebody, but there's a big lump underneath it, and I think possibly that is what's causing my issue of the board itself ghosting, and plus the grip on it is not very good. Stuff from Craft and Ride, I must admit, I hit up Nick at Craft and Ride, and really quick response. Recommended their really aggressive grip tape. I think it's TCF possibly. I'll put the comment just here of what that's called, and I'll also put a link to their website in the description below. But yeah, aggressive grip tape, because obviously, as you can see, we're riding trails. This footage doesn't really tend to do it too much justice, but it's extremely bumpy and lumpy underfoot, and your feet are obviously getting a really good battering. But I am talking way too much. Just do a close-up. I've got my drill just to take off the Loctite, Allen keys. I'm going to quickly talk through what I'm going to use, and I'm going to get this grip tape off. So, fingers crossed. Up and close, I'm going to whip the flight fins off, front and rear. I've got to refit this one. If I were to just pull this just really quickly, it's obviously lifting here. I've actually pulled the stud all the way through the flight fin, and that was due to one of the ghosting scenarios that I had. I've got to replace this rear grip tape. This is absolutely battered. I've got it all lifted up here, got a chunk out here, mingingly grubby, worn off here, as you can see. It's just, yeah. So we've got some aggressive grip tape, like I say, coming from Craft and Ride. Big one is there's a sensor under here. There's a line going up. There's lots of lines underneath, I think I'm right in saying, and there's two sensors. When you engage both sensors, the board itself, once you then lift off the floor, will engage. And if you lean forward, it goes forward. When you go back, it leans back. And then when you're coming to a slow stationary position and you've got your balance bit like this, and then you lift your heel, it actually turns the board off and drops down. What happens is sometimes you come up and you want a quick stop. You just simply come up, you take your foot off the back, and you kind of skid to a finish. That's great, but if it still thinks your foot is attached to the front foot plate, the Onewheel itself just takes off and off and off and off it goes. And I have chased this around the forest for the last few weeks and months with some great laughter and joy from Tom. And yeah, it's taken me out a few times, so I thought now's the time to do it. Plus the grip tape itself is just way too fine for the hardcore stuff that I do behind me. There's a raised area here in the board, and I don't know what it is, but yeah, it's, I'm hoping that's what has been causing all the issues. But if it doesn't and it's still doing it, at least I'll have a bit more of aggressive grip tape, because that is super fine. I'll be using a hairdryer and a heat gun to warm this up, so you've got to use the heat gun to warm the grip tape, and you pull it back on itself, which I'll show you. So you turn it around and pull it back very low at an angle, getting off the board, but we need to warm this grip tape up as much as possible so not to damage the sensor. Yeah, so Allen key though for these is a 1/8 Allen key, on a H, I think it's H2, H3, and a H4 for the flight fin. So let's get into this bit of time lapse and let's uncover what this weird square is. You never know, it might be gold. Okay, there is my culprit. A little bit of grip tape stuck to the underside of the sticky grip tape. That's that square that you see here. Flip it over, grip tape. And that's obviously where it's been pushing. So I think possibly it's engaging, or thinking it's engaged. And if there's a bit of dirt or pressure on this side, then obviously that's what's been causing the issue. But as you can see, it's coming off nicely, but keep applying heat, not too much. I've got some tar and glue, or some sticky glue remover, just to get the adhesives off this, because we've got to get this extremely clean. But yeah, all looks good, to be honest. Quite chuffed with that. That is your foot plate sensor. Obviously these wires go through here and then go through to the board. I'm going to give this board a really good clean once we get the grip tape on. I've got some funky new grip tape, and also Tom's going to be replacing the grip tape on his board. So we're going to be shredding the trails, a fresh new grip tape. But yeah, there's the culprit. Anyway, let's keep stripping. Okay, so there we are. As you can see, that's the little culprit, I think, hopefully causing the issue. Doesn't look like there's any damage itself to the foot plate. It is sandwiched between two bits of plastic, it looks like. I think I'm right in saying that's more on the later boards. The earlier boards, the grip tape went straight onto the sensor, and there's a lot of people ripping this grip tape off. And you've got to keep it quite low, not to try and pull it up, but to pull it across as much as possible. But we'll get some sticky glue remover and clean all that up so that plastic is as clean and as sterile as possible. Ready to take the new grip tape, and we're just going to colour in these edges in black, because that way then the board itself looks a little bit smarter. Clean up a few bits here and a few bits there, but I'm going to get on and strip this back grip tape. So yeah, big difference when you look at the texture difference between the two. This is quite aggressive and this is very fine, so I really am looking forward to getting some decent grip, because under the flight fins your feet do bounce around quite a lot, and like I say, you can have a couple of nasty falls, which I've had recently. So, but again, just warming it up. Now this is not on wood, this is on rubber, so we've got to be maybe a little bit careful. And this is the Cush High pad, and this is a grip tape that comes with a Cush High pad. So as you can see, that's coming off quite easily. Whoa, nice and warm. And again, we can tar and glue this one as well. This stuff just rips off nice and easily. And as it gets tighter, you just need a bit more heat. There we go. So again, we can clean this up with a bit of sticky stuff remover. So, one stripped off Onewheel. I will clean this up underneath here and clean the board up, make sure it's all ready to receive its new grip tape. I'm going to pop you on time lapse, get some tar and glue, and crack on with the cleanliness of the board. Right, so I expect you're asking what I'm using to get this glue off. This glue, basically this stuff's called tar and glue, T&G, tar and glue. It's basically, if you get road tar on your car, you can go to motor factors, motor dealers, anywhere like that really that sells cleaning products, and it's basically a tar and glue remover. It is what it is. You would squirt it on your car, it would melt the road tar, and you could wipe it off so you can get rid of all those black spots on your car. But what it does do is it turns the glue, as you can see, into like a rubber. And with tar, it just dissolves it. Really good stuff. And as you can see from this top front pad, this is dead smooth, dead clean. Really chuffed with that. So cleaned over all the sensor. I did make sure no liquid went running into here, so I stopped all of that. So when I went over that, the actual solvent was on the cloth itself, but I would recommend that you were to do this in a well ventilated area, just because it is a bit stinky, and it does make you somewhat, not high, but it can give you a bit of a headache. So would recommend just pulling that up, making sure that's not lifting anywhere. But yeah, cleans the pad up a treat. So yeah, old pair of boxer shorts, happy days, does the job, squirt it on, and then basically you rub it on and let it do its bit. It then will start to dissolve the actual glue pigment, and yeah, you can just pick it off with your fingers or just keep wiping and it will wipe off eventually, and away you go. Yeah, happy days. So tar and glue, if you need it, T&G, tar and glue.
Okay, so just over a week from just outside Los Angeles all the way to sunny Devon here in the UK. Super fast delivery from Craft and Ride, and also super aggressive grip tape. This stuff is awesome. Now the contour line grip tape is mine, but it comes pre-cut for 2 standard XR foot plates. So Tom has ordered a Cush High set in black. I've traced that onto the bottom of my one, and now I've got to cut it out. Now I can imagine I'm going to absolutely ruin a pair of scissors to do this, but miracle of magic, here we go. If only it was that easy.
So, what are we going to be doing now? We're going to be fitting this awesome grip tape. Here we go. This is kind of like the contour grip tape that Craft and Ride do. They do come obviously as a standard front and rear foot plate shape, so you've got little cutouts here, quite square with the rounded edges. Unfortunately they don't do this for the Cush High rear pad on the board, sadly. So Tom, my buddy, as you can see behind me, got a chap behind me who I ride with, ordered plain black, and luckily they did that for the Cush High, so basically I traced it out as you just quickly saw. Through the magic of television, and we've cut that out. We've cut some little holes here as best as possible. What I used was a hole punch and then just cut up with it with a Stanley knife. They're not absolutely laser cut, but they'll do the job. But yeah, really, really cool grip tape. So, and it is super aggressive. I don't know if you can see that on camera. Really, really aggressive grip tape. So that should hopefully hold my feet in. You get them in their little pouch from Craft and Ride, like this. And then they give you fitting instructions, must read before installation. So I've read that, so that's quite cool. And they kind of hooked me and Tom up with a sticker each. So I've got that one, so I'm going to stick that on my Onewheel when it's all finished, at Craft and Ride. So big shout out to them. I've stuck my flight fins, I've fixed all of those. I've actually stuck those through the dishwasher. So they're looking super clean and super minty. So that's cool. The joys and luxuries of owning a dishwasher. So they're all nice and shiny. I have actually taken off this back plate here to inspect. I've colour coded it all in black, so it's all ready to go. And the actual connection, I don't know if you can see that there, this yellow wire, was actually quite loose on the connection in here. So I've tightened that up as best as possible. But what I am actually going to do is I'm going to run a bead of silicone just along here. I'm going to clean this up and run a bead of silicone along here and just up round here. So when we do go through the water, I know it's the front wheel and the wheel is travelling forward, so technically it's flicking down, so it shouldn't come in here, but you can see that there is actually some run marks and it is quite dusty and grubby in there, so it might just stop any water going in. It's not going to hurt it. And how I did that was I took the 2 screws out the end here, which go into the underside of the front foot plate. So I'm going to screw that on and warm this up. I'm going to warm the grip tape up, but I'm not going to be using the other heat gun I had because that's way too aggressive. I'm going to use my nice pink hair dryer. So warm up both really, really well so we get the adhesion on the back of the grip tape super good. And then we're going to lay it on like this, and then we're going to work our way across the board very much in reverse of how we took the grip tape off. And that way then hopefully not getting any air bubbles underneath the grip tape. So one hit wonder. I've got to try and get this right. Just if you want to know what I've coloured all this in with, not paint, I just used a jumbo permanent marker. And I got it all over my hands. So yeah, let's get into this. Okay, so there we are, all fitted. Really keeping it nice and hot. The grip tape itself is actually quite rigid, as you can see. It's quite rigid, so by warming it up makes it really, really pliable, and then you can work it across, as you saw, angles, and hopefully that would alleviate any air gaps that's on the grip tape pushing onto that plastic. So I think that's fitted really, really well. I'm really happy with that. So I'm going to take these 2 screws out eventually, and I'm going to silicone down the edge, put the foot plate back in. I'm just hoping that this is going to stop my ghosting issue. Really am going to hope. I'm going to pop it, well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get the car board all detailed. As you can see, I've started doing the tyres. I'm going to give the board a really good clean. I'm going to fit the rear grip tape. And then we'll have some funky shots of it all finished. So, yeah, I've got a few hours worth of work and tinkering, but for you, it'll be a few seconds. See you in a moment. Okay, so one awesome looking Onewheel. Grip tape is super cool, I must admit. Super detailed, so I've cleaned everything all up, like I said. So chucked the flight fins in the dishwasher. But yeah, all looking nice and clean and ready to go. Painted on the old hosier on the tyre, that will soon come off though, what with riding the trails like we do behind me here. Yeah, 99p fender, just got some plastics that I use. Trim it all out, cut it all out. This one's for Tom. Just got to grind these little tabs out here and here, and make yourself a fender. I'll put a link for that video in the description below. So if you are interested, then obviously make one. Then obviously let me know. And what I could possibly try and do is I'll do a video maybe, or in one of my other videos, I can just give you the dimensions of obviously this. If you're interested in making one. So but again, new stickers, Ride Waxing worldwide, if only. Got the Craft and Ride on there, and a big shout out to those boys. That's how your grip tape comes, Craft and Ride. And I must admit, this is so aggressive, and I think it's done gone on really well. And yeah, I am super happy with it. Super happy with it. Hopefully this will sort out the ghosting problem. So yeah, next time you see this will be on the trails in my next video. So do stay tuned. Thank you very much indeed, by the way, to everybody that's got this far in the video. 1,000 subscribers I've gone over. I am absolutely over the moon with that, and I cannot thank you enough for subscribing. So yeah, for those who haven't subscribed, carry on, and we'll keep that journey going. But until next time, the famous words from me, the Ride Waxing and UK Onewheel channel, I'll see you soon.